September 1, 2014. Letter 1. Regarding Mr. Nazim Hussain. Dear Bradford Council, Safeguarding Adult Board, attention of Robert Strachan. I write in response to your letter dated 26th of August 2014, which was received on the 28th of August 2014. The purpose of your letter was to inform me that it has been unilaterally decided by the Safeguarding Board following a clandestine meeting held in private to which I was not invited to or made aware of, that all further communication between us is to be limited to the written form only. The stated justification for this unilateral decision of the board is to ensure clarity of communication and to avoid any confusion in relation to the care and safety of my brother. You further go on to write that your colleague, Jackie Doherty, recently chaired the aforementioned meeting and that she is off work this week and will communicate with me on her return. I assume, considering the terms you have just set out, that when you write she will communicate with me on her return, this is to be in writing. The natural question arises is, why would she instigate a communicate with me on her return in writing, given that I have not had an opportunity to raise any issues with her? I have attempted on several occasions to contact her, by telephone, regarding the meeting in question, to little avail. I trust you can appreciate that I need to be afforded an opportunity to raise issues or concerns before they are duly investigated and responded to, formally in writing. I am very concerned and alarmed that you have unilaterally decided to restrict my communication to only the written form and are refusing to speak to me on the telephone. This is highly unusual and very unprofessional. I understand and appreciate that there are clear advantages by having communication written down, as it provides a method of documentation. However, there are many disadvantages in the time delay in responding and clarifying any ambiguity or misunderstanding and miscommunication that a live conversation clearly benefits from. I encourage you to engage me in verbal communication to help clarify the situation between us. I believe that you are deliberately attempting to sideline, stonewall and raise false flags in an attempt to evade dealing with me directly. As the local authority corporate body, you are fully aware of the legal actions you are currently looking to prosecute me for, in much the similar vein in relation to other family members. To avoid being accountable for the unprecedented actions perpetrated against me and my other vulnerable family members, I further believe it is your current strategy to utilize the bureaucratic and administrative process, inherent in all organizations, to your personal advantage in a clear aim to disadvantage me. You are fully aware of the upcoming date towards the end of September 2014, and the consequences that are to follow from your malicious prosecution, and are aligning yourself to take full advantage in order to cover up what I believe to be your negligent/criminal actions. The Council has already been made fully aware of my subject under consideration clause, so I will not reiterate it here, but the consequences of your actions do now fall under this clause. Furthermore, for your information, understanding and clarity, all forms of communication between myself and any external organization is fully documented and recorded. This may then be used in a courtroom of law, or alternatively made available to the general public, without further notice. As I believe it may be in the public interest, considering you are funded and ultimately held accountable to the public, or we the people your paymasters, I now make a formal request, in writing, to have a face-to-face meeting with yourself, the directors, executives, managers and other staff members dealing with Mr. Nazim Hussain's issues. I would like this meeting to be dealt with as a matter of urgency, considering the looming deadline of your forthcoming legal actions against me. I am happy to meet you at any time or place that is available at your earliest convenience, to discuss the health, safety and well-being of my brother Mr. Nazim Hussain. This meeting will inevitably be video recorded for my record and as a means of minuting and document the event. I trust you will deal with his matter forthwith, as a matter of urgency to mitigate some of the effects of the actions perpetrated against me. I urge you to take this matter seriously, as you are violating both me and my brother's human right in limiting, controlling and preventing our contact without clear legally justifiable cause. Finally, I do not accept your terms of not speaking to me on the telephone, as this is a clear form of discrimination, and I will not be party to the subject or object of your discrimination. I will contact you tomorrow to document your response to this email. If, however, you insist on continuing to restrict communication to the written form only, then please be made aware of my cost associated with allocating resources to this form of communication. All written forms of communication will incur a standard charge of £1,000 per A4 page, in addition to £10 for every word communicated to you in this manner. Your preferred means of written communication. If you wish to communicate with me in any other language, other than English, I am more than willing to service such a request at a word charge rate of £20. I am also happy to facilitate our communicate in Morse code, semaphore, braille, or sign language should you wish to do so, with appropriate cost adjustments. Now, considering the abysmal state of your corporation's finances, I would advise you to deal with me as a rate-paying member of the public through my preferred means of communication, which is a face-to-face meeting, all of which are to be video recorded. Now, I am not usually one in the habit of giving people free unsolicited advice, but you have caught me at a particularly generous moment in my life. My advice to you, the natural persons reading my words, is that you should seriously consider looking for alternative employment, or at least keeping your options open. The reason I say this is because your great and glorious leader has tendered in his 6-month notice in July this year. On the 31st of August 2014, the leader of Bradford Royal Infirmary has stepped down. In times gone by, men had honor and the captain of a ship would stay by on deck as it sank. Today, the world has irrevocably changed and it's every Captain Costa Concordia for themselves. Ask yourself if your leaders are jumping ship because they know something. Is it not time for you to equally realize that the magnificent unsinkable Titanic has hit an iceberg and is sinking fast and there just aren't enough life rafts? Mr. S. Hussein.